Welcome back, Outlaws. On today's episode, we're going to be doing an unboxing and first use of the Ego 400 watt power inverter. So stay tuned. I've been looking for a small power inverter that I could take camping or take to the beach and use to power up small appliances, some lighting, and maybe recharge a cell phone or two. And this one seemed to be the right fit. This unit is powered by an Ego lithium 56 volt battery. It supplies 400 watts of continuous power. It also has a 120 volt power outlet. It also provides a pure sine wave, which is really important if you're using it with electronics like a laptop or something else like that. The other reason that I chose this specific power inverter is I already have an Ego chainsaw, which has the battery that I can use on the inverter, so I wouldn't have to buy another battery. Let's get this thing open and see what we have inside. At the time of making this video, these units are going for about $180 each. There doesn't seem to be too much to the packaging, just the box, the unit itself, and the booklet of instructions. There doesn't seem to be any additional packaging or padding in this box, so if you're going to ship this unit, a little extra care and packaging should be taken. Looking at it a little closer, this handle feels pretty sturdy and should be handy when moving the unit. Everything I'm going to be using is located right here on the front pretty conveniently. You have an outlet here. You also have a light switch, the power switch, a fast charge USB-A 18 watt charging port, and also an in and out port along with an 18 watt USB-C port. The unit seems to be vented pretty well. The Ego battery that supplies this unit also works on all their Ego brand tools like chainsaws, blowers, and several others. The battery that I use for my chainsaw is a 7.5 amp hour battery. These batteries range from 2.5 amp hours to 12 amp hours. In researching batteries, I found that there's a lot of knockoff batteries on the market. It's important that you get an Ego brand battery to work with this equipment. Checking around, Lowe's Hardware seems to have the best pricing on these batteries. These batteries can also be found on Amazon and other hardware stores, but like I said earlier, I found Lowe's to have the best pricing. Now let's take a little time and read through these instructions and directions to make sure that we didn't miss anything. Now let's dig a little deeper and check this thing out. This handle has many positions that it could be used in and seems to be really sturdy, as I mentioned before. This has a spring-loaded protector that goes over the blades that connect to the battery. It also has a locking tab for the battery that keeps it securely in place. This unit also features two LED lights for convenience. On this corner, it also has a fast charge port that's USB-A 18 watt. There are also two USB-C charging ports here, one being an in and out, which allows you to charge the unit while using it. This is a really handy feature and adds more functionality to the unit. This also has a cooling fan, which is located here. It's really well ventilated. But with that being said, you must be careful of the area that you set it down in, as not to draw dust or dirt into the unit through these vents. Since I already have equipment that takes the Ego battery, I use this charger to charge the battery up. It's really convenient. I didn't have to buy any extra batteries to use this unit. I could just take it right off my chainsaw and apply it to the inverter, and it works great. As I mentioned earlier, I'm using the 7.5 amp hour battery. Hooking the battery up, you're going to slide it on until you hear that good solid click. Next, you're going to want to activate the battery by turning it on with this little switch here that shows I have a full charge. Each little green bar on that switch indicates 20% charge of 100%. What I've noticed is you have to push the power button here 2 or 3 times to get the unit to turn on. Now that it's activated and on, let's go ahead and test the lights and see what they can do. There's 2 settings, a low and a high. These are located on the bottom of the unit, which makes you have to stand it up if you want light in a different direction. With that being said, you're setting it on the vent, so you have to be careful that you're not drawing dirt up into the unit. It also has a third setting, which flashes the lights continuously, as you saw. And now for the fun part, let's hook this thing up to some equipment and see what it'll do. This is a 75-inch flat-screen TV. Depending on the amp hours your specific battery has, that will dictate how long that you can use the unit. I'm still trying to figure out the power switch and how many times to push it to get the unit started up. What I'm doing now is testing different pieces of equipment. As long as the devices that you plug into this unit don't draw any more than 400 watts, it should be able to supply power as long as your battery lasts. When charging a phone, I recommend you use the adapter for charging your phone and plug it into the 120 volt outlet. I'm not sure on several different types of phones how many amps they need to charge, but some of them are kind of particular for what they need, and I found this to be the best way to charge my phone. And now for the big test. I'm going to plug my washing machine into this thing and see what it'll do. I put the washing machine on the rinse spin cycle just to get a quick test. It's the lowest setting that the unit has, as not to draw too many amps. I don't have a meter that I could plug in to see how many watts or amps this is drawing, so I'm just testing it to see how long the battery will last and how many bars will drop before I have to shut it off. This actually completed the whole spin cycle and rinse cycle. I still had 20% battery left. Overall, I think this is a great little power inverter. I wouldn't recommend doing your wash with it or some of the other stuff that I tried it on. But as far as providing a little lighting, a place to charge your phone, and run some small pieces of equipment, I think this thing will be great. This in and out port, allowing you to charge it and use it at the same time, is also a great feature. With all the testing done and that being said, I'm giving this unit a thumbs up. Thanks for checking out the video and sticking around, and I hope you found some of this information useful. That's a wrap, and we'll see you around on the next video.